As I was saying, each of you must do one of these tasks to get the other elements. Why can't we just all do it?
Because some of you need to stay here to protect the rest of us.
I'm already here.
Fluttershy pointed out.
Yeah, I know, but some of us need to go out and do it.
Applejack explained.
So,
Wait, you're sending only some of us out to look for the elements?
that's what I just said.
Applejack said.
Now I have to ask you guys again. Who do you want to go?
After a moment, all the ponies looked at each other.
I want to go!
Rainbow Dash said.
Oh, really? You?
Well, yeah.
The Cyan Pegasus said.
I mean, I'm already here, and I could use a good adventure.
Rarity should go.
Fluttershy said timidly.
She's so delicate.
Yeah, I think I should go.
The fashionably dressed pony said.
Me? Sure, why not you? I don't know anything about looking for things.
Applejack said.
Pinkie Pie and Rainbow are better at it anyway. That's not true.
Rainbow Dash protests.
I'm an excellent lookout. You're a pony? So...
I want to go.
Pinkie Pie said. The other ponies all look at her, surprised by her outburst.
Well, I mean, you said you want to go on an adventure.
Me too.
Said a second voice, this time a male one. All the ponies turned their heads to see a yellow boy in a red shirt.
Me three.
Said a yellow girl standing next to him.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Applejack asked.
Yeah, I did.
The boy said, picking up a small rock and tossing it at Applejack.
You don't need to be sorry. You were defending your friend there.
I'm not her friend.
Pinkie Pie said.
Of course she is.
The boy said, smiling.
We all are. Who are you?
The boy smiles.
Ask me questions, you. Is me one? Oh, sure.
Rainbow Dash said.
All right, go ahead.
The boy said.
But only one.
I'll stand before you to rest.
Fluttershy said.
Are you the only one who wants to go? Yeah, I guess so.
The boy said, sighing.
I'm 10. My name is Bart. What's yours? I'm Applejack. I'm sure you've heard that before. What would you like to ask me? Why do you want to go with them? Oh, just so they'll take me. I've been to Ponyville before, when I was little. What's wrong with your family? Nothing. Need to be alone for a while. How come you don't have any friends? I have plenty of friends. No, you don't. Nobody likes you. They do. They just don't know it yet. How come you're so alone? Because I'm lonely. Well, yeah.
Bart said, smiling.
But don't you have any other friends? Yeah, but they don't want me. Why not? They're just being mean because they hate me. That's horrible.
Bart said, a black look. He looks up at the ceiling for a second.
I feel like I know you. How do you feel like you know me? We're both lonely, both have lonely hearts. Feeling blue. Very? I'll make you feel less blue. How? I'll show you. Oh God, don't you mean we'll show you?
The other kid said, giggling.
Shut up, Lisa.
Bart said.
How?
Applejack asks again.
Get on my back. What? Get on my back.
He repeated.
Trust me?
The girl, Lisa, opens her mouth as if to say something, but Bart shuts her down by looking at her angrily.
I'm trusting you.
He says.
Fine.
She sits on his back as he bends over.
Let's go.
He says, galloping off through the trees. Lisa begins to laugh maniacally.
What's so funny?
Bart asks.
You're funny. We should be friends.
Yeah, we should.
The two continue to laugh as they leave. They trot along after the kids, keeping pace with them.
Hey, leave some space.
Lisa shouts. Racing through the trees, the kids laugh and shout as they play.
Why are you following us?
Bart screams.
It's my job.
Pinkie Pie says.
What do you want?
Lisa asks.
Pinkie wants to fight you.
Bart says to his sister.
Should we let her?
Oh, please. No.
Lisa says.
We're not fighting these two. We should go find something else to do. Come on, Bart. Fine.
Pinkie says.
I just wanted to see you fight.
Hey, yeah. See ya.
Bart says, ducking as Lisa swings at him.
You're not going to fight.
Lisa asks.
Not today.
Pinkie Pie says. With that, the two kids roll around in the dirt, wrestling and punching and kicking. Lisa seems to be holding her own, dodging most of his attacks.
That's a lot of hair.
She says, pulling at one of his mane.
You really are sisters.
Shut up.
Bart says. He swings a punch, which she blocks. He elbows her in the face, which she knees him in the stomach. He falls to the ground and Lisa jumps on top of him, straddling him.
You two are so gross together.
She says before sticking a finger into his ear.
Oh, gross, disgusting siblings.
He says.
Bart.
Ah,
I'm going to tell Dad you're being mean to me.
She says.
go ahead.
He says. Lisa sticks her tongue out at him before hopping off of him.
Can we stop now? I'm getting tired.
She says.
Yeah, let's go find some place to hide.
Pinkie says.
I want to look at all the pretty stars.
The kids seem to agree, so they keep going in a random direction. She knows she should probably go after Spike and get this over with, but something about watching these kids have fun in the middle of a kidnapping makes her not want to. The kids seem so carefree in their situation, and it makes her feel guilty. If only she were in a better position than this. Then again, if she wanted to be in a better position, she wouldn't be here now, would she?
Hey, Bart?
She asks.
Yeah.
Do you know where I can get my duty mark?
What's that?
It's that symbol you get when you reach level 10 in some game.
She says.
I think you have to go talk to the cutie at the end of the path in the Lost Realm.
Thanks.
No problem.
He says. Lisa walks along, admiring the night sky. The kids have been going in a wide path, so they won't get lost, but they'll still avoid the Syndicate camp. She sees a light ahead of her, and walks up to it. It's a campfire with 2 men around it. One is the bum that they took the bread from earlier. He's asleep, possibly hungover. The other one is a skinny man with brown hair and a green shirt. He's awake and smoking a pipe.
Hey, kid,
He says.
did you lose your way?
Oh, no. I was wondering if this is the way to the Lost Realm.
It is indeed. What are you doing here? Not that I care, of course.
Oh, you know, we were on a scavenge when we ran into some trouble. We were walking back to our camp when we found this boy.
Wait, any weapons, kid?
Lisa pulls out her bat and tosses it to him. He catches it with one hand.
Thanks.
He stands and walks around her.
Who is all here?
He asks.
You got any other weapons I should know about?
Lisa pulls out her knife and gives it to him. He catches it with the same hand.
How many of you were there?
9.
She says.
We're the Lost Bandits.
He chuckles.
I like your style.
The bum starts to wake up.
Hey, who are you? We were surprised you take orders from the most pathetic member of our group.
Shut up, Ender.
I'm not your fucking boss. You can't just order me about who are you.
Name's Shaggy. I'm in charge of this camp. You see that mountain over there?
Yeah.
We used to be in a monastery. Above that mountain, we had everything we needed and more right in our mountain.
Wait.
Yeah, me and my sister Sugi and our dog Scoob.
What happened?
Brother came.
Who is that?
He's the horse wolf who people say leads the syndicate.
How do you know he does?
Because his sister Ferocious told us all about him.
Ferocious.
Yeah, she's the largest mountain lion ever recorded and 1,000 times more deadly than the most vicious wolf.
You're telling me this horse wolf has a sister?
Yeah, you've heard of them, right?
You, the ones who run all the gangs.
They are animals. They have no respect for anyone.
Lisa's not sure what to make of all this. She remembers that the bum was hanging around after everyone told him to scram. Lisa walks over to him and pokes him in the shoulder. He wakes up.
Hey, weakling, let's get going.
You,
We're getting eaten by Linus. Come on, let's go.
Linus.
Yeah, you know, the biggest fucking mountain lion ever seen. Her name's Ferocious.
Ah, fuck you. I'm not abandoning this spot just because you a chicken.
We're not staying here. You can sleep in my tent.
Shaggy looks up at the sky.
It's not even night yet. We'll be fine here.
We need to sleep during the day and at night, especially with this kind of company. A lion might get us.
Shaggy stands up.
I'm not sleeping in your tent.
Then you're dead.
Shaggy lights his pipe with some firewood.
I like to sleep at night.
He says. Lisa pulls out her knife.
Fine.
She says.
But if I don't return, it wasn't because of some stupid animal.
Lisa takes off into the forest. Lisa finds a nice, clear stream. She kneels next to it and starts drinking. She hears a noise and turns around. She sees Bart standing there. She gasps.
You're a girl.
She says.
I know.
He replies.
How can you drink water?
I'm not. I was just checking to see if you're still alive.
Of course I am.
You were lying.
Why are you following me?
I'm not. I'm just here looking for water. You're the only one here.
How can you be sure?
I just did.
What are you?
A ghoul. We only drink blood.
You're not even human.
She says, repulsed.
Where are the ponies?
Gone. They ran off. After they were attacked by some ponies who had been turned.
What do you mean?
I'm a ghoul. We live off the flesh of the dying.
Lisa gulps.
What do you want from me?
Your blood.
Lisa shakes her head.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm not killing you.
Well, you will if I kill you.
Lisa gulps. She knows he's telling the truth. There's no way around it. He'll kill her if she tries to fight back.
So, give it up.
No.
Dan, I was going to offer you a deal, but it looks like you're not willing to make one.
Lisa stands up.
What deal?
I was going to offer you a deal. I'm willing to leave you live if you give me your blood, but I can't stay here with my friends any longer.
What's in it for me? What?
Well, you'll get to live, for one. You can come with me. And we'll go find someplace safe.
Like the Syndicate.
Lisa sneers.
I'm not going to work for some fucking horse wolf.
No, not the Syndicate. I'm talking about a real place. We'll go someplace where there is food to be had, water to drink.
And live with you.
Lisa says, sighing.
Yes,
And in exchange for this deal,
you will have to be my...
bitch.
Lisa asks, finishing his sentence.
You know what your deal is. I'm not stupid.
You won't be my bitch. You'll be my partner.
What's the difference?
Well, my bitch serves me and follows my orders. We're going to work together. You'll have to do the same.
Lisa thinks about it. For a second, her face is resolve. Then, it falters and she breaks. Her face crumples and she starts to cry.
I'm sorry. It's fine.
Bart says, sighing.
I get it.
You're just shaken up from the trauma.
Lisa puts her head down. She's quiet for a second.
I'm sorry.
She says,
I don't know why I'm upset. I can't do this.
Do what?
I can't live without my family.
We're family.
Bart reminds her.
You'll see them again.
I know. It's just so hard.
Lisa looks up. She smiles a bit.
So we're going to go find them together.
She says,
Where to start?
We don't have to go too far. The emergency broadcast mentioned the police station, and they're just a few blocks away.
Do you know where it is?
I can get us there.
Bart says,
It's just an animal I have to feed once in a while. A lot of them in the city. He isn't even alive when I take their blood.
Lisa walks away towards the nearby alleyways. Bart follows her and they meet up with some others.
You two are so fucked up.
Shadow complains.
Can't you see this is the safest way to do this?
Just follow us.
Spike says, laughing.
If this stealth's still the way we want, you better hope there are no police around when we make our big breakout. Shadow, I thought you just got out of prison.
Lisa asks as they walk through the alley.
I did.
Ginny says,
You think you were safe? Because nobody can see us here. That there are cameras all over this area. You think they'll just keep our parents in the basement to question some more?
I guarantee it.
Spike says.
Come on, bitch. Time to bleed.
Lisa looks at Spike. He's smiling and seems to be enjoying the night. Lisa draws a blade from her boot.
Shouldn't we split up?
She asks.
Just you, me, and Bart go into the police station.
I'm not sure if running is going to help.
Bart says.
Maybe we should just go in as a team.
I'll tell you what.
Spike says, licking his lips.
How about you go in, stab one officer to death with your shift, and then go nuts on the rest of them with our new companion here?
Bart nods, smiling. Lisa nods.
You're the leader.
Lisa says.
I'll go with Bart.
Spike smiles, licking his lips. He slowly walks forward, stopping in front of the group. He holds out a hand and Lisa places hers in it. He pulls her to her feet, and the pair of them embrace.
See you soon, darling.
Spike says.
Maybe we can pick up where we left off.
Lisa smiles before turning and punching him in the face. He falls backward before getting back up.
You two sure you want to do this?
He asks, looking at Ginny and Shadow.
You both really want to be part of this family.
We're in.
Spike, Bart, Lisa, Ginny, and Shadow all stood around the empty Nightfall police station. They'd come in with their knives, but were shocked to find the building abandoned.
What the fuck, guys?
Shadow said.
It's like we're the only ones left in the world.
Where the hell is everyone?
Lisa asks, scratching her head nervously.
I'm sure they're fine. Something comes up, and they can't make it.
Shadow said.
We should split up. Try looking in different places.
Spike said.
I'll go into the basement.
I'll check the cells.
Lisa said.
I guess I'll check the shed.
Barty Boy said, walking into the house.
And I'll stick to the basement.
Spike said.
All right then.
Lisa said.
Well, I'm off.
Lisa walked away, heading to the prison cells. Spike and Shadow watched her go before turning to each other.
I guess we're alone now.
Shadow said, leaning in close to Spike.
Bless.
He asked.
Yeah.
Lisa answered.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just startled. That's all. Wasn't this used to be a police station?
Yeah. But we think it was unaccountably abandoned.
We need to figure out where everyone else is.
Yeah. You okay?
Spike asked.
Yeah. How far did you have to walk?
A long way. You know where we're going.
Not exactly, but it's a lot further north than I thought we'd go. Do you know how far, guys?
Lisa asks.
I think it was for an overdose of some of those medicine you gave him.
I gave him something. I thought it was alcohol.
No, it was an overdose of something else. I think it was poison, and the way he overdosed.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
More walking and talking. Eventually, they find themselves at the edge of a cliff.
This looks like it.
Spike says.
Yeah, looks like it.
All right then, let's do it.
Do what?
We jump. I mean, we could always just throw ourselves off the cliff and not really risk anything.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that dangerous?
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance we might not survive. But it'd be really painful.
I guess so.
So, you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Lisa walks forward. She stops, looks down, takes a deep breath, and then turns around. She grabs Spike's hand and they begin to walk towards the edge of the cliff. They walk down until they're right next to the edge.
Are you sure this is the best idea?
Lisa asks.
The only other idea I can think of is going back, which is clearly not the ensure. We need to get away from here.
Yeah, and if we're doing this,
Then let's jump.
Lisa steps forward, putting a foot on the very edge of the cliff.
Ready?
Spike asks.
ready.
1, 2.
They jump. Spike grabs Lisa by the hand and pulls her off the edge of the cliff. For a moment, they feel nothing. Then, they feel the wind blowing through their hair. They look down and see that they're falling towards a large tree. They put their hands around it and soon they begin to slow down. They swing back and forth between the tree branches a few times before coming to a rest. The momentum carries them both into the snow. They roll around in it, laughing uncontrollably.
We're so high up.
Lisa laughs.
Yeah. I think we broke the fall. We're super. Think weary brewers stroke this. There you go. We're all.
I think we need to find a tree with a sucker branch in case we try this again.
Well, we're already up there. We might as well.
Spike points out. They find a tree and sit on a large branch. They look down at the ground a long way below them.
We're so high up, I can't see the ground.
Lisa says.
Yeah. Hey, we're not supposed to be up here.
No, we're supposed to be in Ponyville. Not this place.
Yep. We should go get some sleep. We've been walking a long time.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you sure you don't mind sleeping outside?
Well, we won't be the only ones, but the cold won't be an issue as much, and I've slept outside less comfortable.
Yeah, but still, I'll sleep on the inside. You can have the blanket. You know how cold it gets out here.
It's okay, not that cold. It's better out here with you anyway. I can keep an eye on you.
I'll keep you warm.
Lisa kisses Spike.
Thanks for agreeing to come out here with me. You're my best friend.
Lisa says.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Lisa hugs Spike tightly.
You're my only love.
Lisa kisses Spike once more before laying down on the blanket.
Good night, my only love.
Spike says as Lisa falls asleep.
Sweet dreams, my only love.
Spike lies down on the blanket, pulling it over both of them. He closes his eyes and lets sleep drift over him. He didn't expect he'd feel something like this. He thought he was going to feel fear, or excitement, or maybe even happiness. But all of those feelings seemed to be muted by this newfound feeling of love. He didn't know it was possible to feel this way about someone, but here he is. He loves Lisa, and he's sure she feels the same way about him. It's a good thing, too, or else they wouldn't have gotten through this together. He'll always be there for her, and that's why he's going to look after her tonight.
Lisa, wake up.
Spike says, shaking Lisa awake.
What?
She asks sleepily.
We have to get up.
Okay. Why?
Because we have a big day today.
Oh, yeah, I'm so tired.
Spike and Lisa stand up. They begin walking down the mountain to where Ponyville is. They walk for a while before they start feeling hungry. They find a river and wet their mouths with water. They drink as much as they can before lying down in the grass to dry.
I need food.
Spike complains.
I'm always hungry.
I can eat.
Lisa says.
I could smell food cooking.
Spike says, sniffing the air.
Do you think they had any more?
Lisa asks.
I doubt it.
Spike looks up at the sun.
It's still early.
He says.
We have time to find food or at least find some shelter.
Okay.
Well, shit, we're going.
Right.
Lisa says. The two of them walk through the forest. Soon, they find themselves in Ponyville. It's exactly like how Spike remembers it. There's Carousel Boutique. There's the coffee shop. There's the library. He feels a pang in his heart as he sees the library.
I really don't want to be here.
I know.
Lisa says. Lisa walks into Carousel Boutique. Spike follows.
Hello.
Lisa says nervously.
Is anyone here?
Hello.
Spike and Lisa turn around. There's a donkey standing in the empty building.
Don't mind me.
The donkey says.
I'm not actually a donkey. I'm an alicorn.
You're what?
Lisa asks.
I'm a unicorn.
You're clearly a donkey.
Spike points out.
I'm a unicorn, not a donkey.
The donkey says.
Oh, right.
Lisa says.
My name's Spike. This is my girlfriend, Liz.
I'm donkey.
The donkey says.
Why are you here?
Lisa asks.
There's a nightmare king on the loose. I need to get his fill.
How can we help?
Donkey bites into a piece of apple before spitting out a small wooden rod.
Can you make the width?
He asks.
Oh, sure.
Lisa says. Lisa quickly goes to work. She takes a block of wood, a dowel, and some string, and begins to make a toy for Donkey.
Thanks.
Donkey says happily, taking the toy. He nudges Spike with his side.
Find me a human to play with.
Donkey says.
I like humans.
Spike says.
I don't like donkeys.
Lisa adds.
I like all of them.
A voice says. They turn around to see a young girl. She has short pink hair and big, bright eyes.
I'm the daughter of the librarian.
And the girl says.
My name's Stephanie. I don't like to read.
She declares.
Why don't you like to read?
Lisa asks.
Because there is a monster in the library that makes me hide it. What do you mean? The monster hides us. I could be to read and conduct an effort. Oh, monster's name is Ropens.
What do you need help with, little lady?
Donkey asks.
I need help finding my friends.
She says.
Can you look at Emma?
Sure thing.
Donkey nods. Donkey begins to sniff around the room.
I can smell one.
He says. He looks towards Spike and points.
You.
He says.
Come here.
Spike walks over to Donkey.
What's your name?
Spike asks.
Donkey.
He sniffs.
Okay, you. Donkey.
Spike says.
Finders keepers and losers eat.
Donkey! Finders keepers and losers eat.
Lisa repeats.
You finders keepers.
Stephanie says, ignoring Spike.
I ate lost lunchbox.
You can't eat lost lunchbox.
Spike says.
They're for babies.
Stephanie, what do you want to do?
Lisa asks.
I want to be in charge.
She says, crossing her arms.
You can't be in charge.
Spike says.
You're not even in charge of yourself most of the time.
Do you want to be in charge?
Lisa asks.
Yes.
She says.
Okay.
Lisa says.
Spike, you're out.
Why am I out?
Spike asks.
You're not in charge.
Lisa says.
Stephanie, you're in.
I'm not in charge.
Spike asks.
How come?
Because she's better than you.
Lisa explains.
I don't understand.
Spike says.
Never mind.
Lisa says.
Donkey, take to the dungeon or wherever lost boys go.
I'm not a boy.
Spike says.
I'm a dragon.
Spike becomes more and more angry as Donkey leads him to the dungeon. He struggles against Donkey, but it's no use. Soon, Spike is gone, and it's just Stephanie and Lisa.
I think he deserves it.
Lisa says.
What? That one? Yeah, he did nothing wrong. I know, but I think he's just misunderstood. He's a dragon. Firewells are monsters that destroy everything. Well, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Lisa says.
Why don't you get rid of the monsters before they destroy everything? You trust that monster?
The girl asks, insulted.
Don't you think I know he is? He only pretends to be nice so he can enter the house to do whatever it is that answers her.
I'm not a monster.
Spike says as he's thrown into a cell.
Then let yourself adventure me.
The girl says.
Then get away from me before I hurt you.
Or herself.
Don't be absurd.
I'm not. And I'm not going away.
The girl points at the stairs.
You're in down there.
She says.
Fine.
Spike says. Spike goes to the stairs.
Don't.
The girl says. Spike complies and sits down on the stairs. Soon, a yellow cloud comes from him. It gets thicker and less dense the further it goes. Finally, it turns into a solid piece of card that floats down. It lands in front of the girl. It reads, "Congratulations, you got me. Now, get out of my house."
All right.
Spike says.
It's me again. Thanks a lot. Listen.
The girl looks at the card again and reads it.
Why didn't you capture Nancy?
She asks.
She wasn't in the room.
Spike shrugs.
Please, can we stop doing this? It's stressful.
Fine.
The girl says, throwing the card away.
Let's stay.
As she walks out of the room, she looks behind her.
I knew you were there.
She says.
Come on, follow it.
No response.
I said come on, follow it.
She hisses, kicking some dirt near Spike. Still no response.
Seriously, you be my friend. Come on.
Still nothing. The girl sighs, turns around and walks out of the room. She leaves the room, leaving Spike alone. Days go by. Weeks. She feels as though it's been months, but she doesn't know for sure. She sees no sun, only endless darkness. Her stomach tells her it's been much longer. She has no sense of time in the nightmare realm. Dried blood cakes her hooves and coats her body. She's almost a skeleton. Her body hurts all the time. It aches with a throbbing pain, taking, even talking and laughing to her fullest capacity. She has nothing left. She's broken.
Fluttershy.
She looks up at the sound of her name being called. It's a boy wearing a red shirt. She knows that red. She knows that boy. He flies forward, grabbing her hoof.
Please, you have to help me. I've lost all my strength. I can't even move, please. You have to.
She looks into his shining eyes. They're full of pain and guilt. She remembers this boy. She remembers him from the human realm. He's from the Nightmare Man's realm. He's a ghoul. One of the Nightmare King's minions.
Where is the Nightmare King?
She asks.
Hey, you left without me. I'm so sorry, Fluttershy.
Then she sees a strange creature. He looks furious.
Fluttershy, I want you to promise me 3 things.
What?
If you're going to help me, don't tell any pony what you're doing. Don't tell any of the guards at the palace. Either second, stay strong. Whatever happens, don't let the Nightmare King break your will. Fight it with everything you've got.
Who are you?
I'm your friend, your only true friend. My name is Discord.
I don't know you. Discord?
Sure you do. I helped turn your precious Mr. Sunshine into a horrible monster. I caused all of the trouble in the first place. Isn't that right, Flutters?
Fluttershy's eyes widen. She looks scared.
Finally!
He continues.
There's the matter of what you're planning to do with this Nightmare King. He's evil, you know that, right? He'll enslave you, he'll kill you, he'll torture you. Do you honestly want any part of that? I did think so.
Fluttershy remains silent.
I'm giving you a real choice here, begging you, giving you an out if there ever was one. You want to stay here in a non-extent world of nothingness, or you want to come back to the world you know. You can leave this all behind.
She looks into his eyes and she can't help but believe him.
Well, I guess there's always purgatory, then.
She says.
I don't have the power to send you to purgatory, not when I left shortly before you even arrived. But I'm no fool. I see the look in your eyes, you believe me, and that's good enough for me.
How do I know I can really trust you?
Do you really want to know how I can repay your trust?
Forking over her loyalty.
If you really trust me that much, then here.
He gives her a small white pill.
Take this. It'll make everything easier. I promise. Now I need you to do something for me.
What?
Swallow this, and when you do, you'll be with us. With the Nightmare Realm's royal family. There, we can truly get to know each other.
She swallows the pill.
Hope you're ready, because our relationship just got much closer.
His face turns into a horrible, twisted visage. Her body shakes, and she looks away.
I'm sorry.
Fluttershy cries, her tears flow, and her body collapses onto the ground. Discord catches her, holding her in his arms.
Don't cry. It's okay. Everything will be just fine. Just take your rest, little one.
Fluttershy spasms, then remains still. Stephanie and Lisa entered the woods, hoping to find the campfire where Lisa had met Shaggy and Bender. They had encountered an old woman on the way who told them of the many dangers in the woods, but that they would encounter the most trouble if they went to the campfire. They traveled through the woods, but did not encounter the old woman again. They came upon the carcass of a deer, freshly killed, and a very large wolf. Nearby was a stream, choked with vines and moss. The girls sat down on a nearby rock and began to drink. A shadow darted over them from above, and there was a rustling of leaves and grass. A green-skinned woman with silver hair stood over them. Her eyes were glowing red, and she had a long tongue.
Who's there?
Asked Lisa. She drew her sword.
Nobody.
Said the woman.
Just a friendly visitor.
Lisa sheathed her sword.
Do you wish for assistance?
Said the woman.
Or should I kill you?
Stephanie looked at the woman and her eyes widened.
That's the vet witch. You know her.
Asked Lisa.
I know of her.
Said Stephanie.
What did you call me?
The woman asked, her eyes narrowing.
The lady. I only meant that you were shaped like a vet.
Said Stephanie. The woman smiled.
You are a poor child.
She said.
I can sense it. Perhaps you would like to come live with me and be my assistant.
Lisa looked at Stephanie. Stephanie's eyes were wide.
Do we have a choice?
Asked Lisa.
Not really.
Said Stephanie.
Oh.
Said Lisa.
Very well. I suppose it would be silly to kill you.
Why?
Asked Lisa.
Well, you are obviously a bold, brave and quick child. I could use someone like you.
What will become of me?
Asked Stephanie.
You will live with me and be my assistant.
Said the woman.
You'll be able to travel with me, and I even adopt you.
I know that.
Said Stephanie.
I am a purpose in my library. I have education and knowledge, right?
You are a bold peasant, and those are qualities I have.
Said the woman. She walked toward Lisa and Stephanie and began to examine them.
I see the blood of royalty in you,
She said.
and the blood of a warrior in you as well.
Thank you.
Said Lisa.
You are very lucky to have such fine assistants.
Said the woman, turning her attention to Stephanie. Stephanie smiled. Lisa was still unsure.
Is there any way I can make you change your mind?
Asked Lisa.
No.
Said the woman.
There must be something.
Said Lisa.
Nothing.
Said the woman. Lisa looked to Stephanie. Stephanie shrugged. Lisa looked to the witch.
We are in your debt.
She said.
For your kindness, if you would only tell us how to get back to the world of humans, we would be eternally grateful.
But I cannot do.
Said the woman.
Only the King of the Silver River can do that. If he will not hear you, he will not see Bart again.
Lisa was crestfallen, and Stephanie was upset. It seemed there was no way back to the world of humans.
I wish we could save you.
Said Stephanie.
You may,
Said the woman. Lisa looked at the witch again.
but only if you wish it, too.
She said.
I would be a fatal pest, thank you.
Said Stephanie.
But what about my family?
Asked Lisa.
I have to get back to them.
They will not be in danger while you are with me,
Said the witch.
and I will do everything in my power to get you back home.
Lisa looked back at the campfire. The light gave her a magical feeling. She was about to go to the campfire when she saw something glittering in the light. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a golden egg.
What's this?
Asked the witch. Lisa looked at Stephanie, who shrugged.
I have no idea.
Said Lisa.
I found it in the grass.
Well, you may keep it.
Said the witch. Lisa stared at the golden egg in surprise.
Keep it.
Said Lisa.
It's a king's.
Keep it anyway.
Lisa walked over to the campfire and sat down. Stephanie followed her.
What are you going to do? are you?
asked Stephanie.
I'm not sure.
Answered Lisa.
I need to think.
You may stay here tonight.
Said the witch.
Here.
Asked Lisa.
Yes.
Said the witch.
You may stay with me. The King of the Silver River must not be allowed to escape. If he reaches the Nightmare Ring, it will be the end of all of us.
Lisa looked at Stephanie. Stephanie sighed and nodded.
We'll stay.
Said Stephanie.
Good, good, good.
Said the witch. The witch gave Lisa a tin cup of water and said,
You may wash away the filth of the world and wash yourself clean if you wish.
Lisa smiled and began washing her face in the cup with a few drops of the water. When she was done, she looked up at the witch.
Now, where may I find the King of the Silver River?
She asked.
The King of the Silver River resides in a tower in the Lost Realm.
Said the witch.
I know.
Said Lisa.
But where is the Lost Realm?
The witch looked at Lisa.
Lost Realm?
She said.
It is the farthest realm from here. Why do you ask?
Lisa smiled. She knew where the Lost Realm was. It was the one place that Shaggy had said she could go. The one place that might let her bring her brother back from the dead.
Thank you, witch.
Said Lisa.
I have a favor to ask you.
Ask away.
Said the witch.
If I may, could you take care of this girl for me?
Asked Lisa.
She is a child of the light and a guest of mine.
Said the witch.
Of course I will.
The witch smiled, stretched her arms, and walked off into the woods. Lisa followed the witch. When they were out of earshot of Stephanie, Lisa said,
I need to talk to you about my brother.
What's wrong with him?
asked the witch, stopping.
I don't know.
Said Lisa.
I need to talk to you in private.
The witch nodded and said,
I will wait for you in my tent. Do not be long.
The witch walked away into the woods, while Lisa followed. When they were alone, Lisa said,
Now tell me about Bart.
The witch smiled and said,
Bart is a strange one. Never known him to be particularly bright. He's very good with animals, though. When your family was captured, he made a deal with the Nightmare King so that he could protect you.
Lisa nodded.
The Nightmare King made him a girl, which gave him the strength to keep you safe, but also made him crave flesh and blood.
Lisa nodded and said,
Those aren't supposed to have families.
The Nightmare King is greedy, cruel, and doesn't respect his own rules.
Said the witch.
Bart's as good as dead. I'm sorry about that. You're free to leave whenever you like. But I ask you to stay. Bart needs you.
The witch told her 2 names that she would need to know to rescue Bart. Lisa looked at the witch and said,
I have to go.
Do you now?
Said the witch.
Very well. Lie wiser. May the light bless you, and may you return with Bart.
Thanks and goodbye, Witch of the Woods.
Lisa said, leaving the tent. Lisa walked in the direction the Witch of the Woods had gone. She wanted to leave and go find her brother. That was the only thing that mattered. She walked in the woods and kept going. Stephanie would be safe in the witch's care. She was sure of that. Bart would be saved. That was all that mattered. After a long while, there was a light in the distance. Lisa followed it. When she reached the source, she saw a campfire. This was the one. The strange, magic campfire she had found once before. A tall, scraggly man sat on the other side of it. He had long, stringy hair that hung past his face, and an unkempt beard. He wore a green shirt and brown pants. Lisa approached the man. He looked up from some thought in his mind and said,
Hello, Lisa, you have come to free Bartimaeus?
Yes.
said Lisa.
Then you must take me with you. Bartimaeus is the only one who can get me out of here. I've been a slave of the Nightmare King for years. I'm his equal in strength. If you take me with you, you can.
Lisa looked at the man and said,
You must be a strong one.
I'm known by many names, but you may call me Shaggy.
Where is Bart?
Lisa asked.
He's at the Nightmare King's castle. You must hurry. If you don't, Bartimaeus will be killed.
Lisa nodded. She took Shaggy by the hand and said,
Come with me. Shaggy, I need you.
Shaggy smiled and said,
I knew I could rely on you, Lisa.
They entered a dense part of the woods. They walked in silence. After a long, quiet walk, they came to a river. On the other side of the river was a building of dark stone. It jutted from the edge of the mountain, overlooking the river. Shaggy looked up at it and said,
The Nightmare King's castle. We must cross the river.
Why?
asked Lisa.
I thought the Nightmare King was dead.
The Nightmare King is dead, but his shadow rules the Nightmare Realm. He resides in the castle we are now approaching. It is his will that Bartimaeus and I remain here. Take me across the river and into the Nightmare Realm.
Lisa looked at Shaggy.
Why are you willing to help me free Bartimaeus?
Because he's my brother. We were both cursed by the Nightmare King in order to protect the ones we love.
Shaggy explained.
We're both cursed with tremendous power, trying to protect our little sisters.
Then why didn't you just use your powers to kill the Nightmare King when you had the chance?
Lisa asked, frustrated.
The Nightmare King can't be slain with power he is given,
said Shaggy.
It is a great mystery. Perhaps one day you will unravel it.
I doubt it.
said Lisa.
I'll just go in and get Bart.
No,
Said Shaggy.
you must take me in. Bartimaeus is at the very edge of death. If you take me in, you can heal him and bring him back to life. He will need that.
Lisa looked at Shaggy.
How do I know you're not lying?
She asked.
You don't.
Said Shaggy. They crossed the river. With Shaggy's power, they entered the Nightmare Realm. A voice inside a dark tunnel said,
I told you that the Nightmare King would reward you.
Bart.
cried Lisa.
You're all better.
I knew you'd come.
I did too.
Said Shaggy.
I'm here to help.
Bart, it's so good to see you.
Said Lisa, embracing her brother.
My soul's been trapped here ever since I met the Nightmare King.
Bart said with a sigh.
I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused.
Don't be.
Said Lisa.
All is forgiven. You're home.
I'm glad to hear that.
Said Bart. Lisa led Bart to a small house in the Nightmare Realm.
This is your home now.
Said Lisa.
You'll be staying with us.
Do I have to?
Asked Bart, nervously looking around.
No, Bart.
Said Lisa. Lisa went back across the river. She returned with a large bag. She dumped its contents onto the floor of her home, which included a sleeping bag, pillow, blanket, and a large bag of chips.
I brought you some supplies.
Said Lisa.
You can keep them in the bag here. You might want to put some of the chips in the bag.
Bart looked at the chips.
What are these for?
He asked.
You'll find out soon enough.
Said Lisa, closing the bag. Bart went into the bag and shut himself up in it. Lisa went into a corner, grabbed a pillow, and began to snore loudly. Bart stood there, looking around.
Can I do anything?
He asked. Lisa shook her head.
No, just stay here and rest.
Bart looked at the bag of chips. He could hear the crunching of the chips, but he could not see them. The bag made a low rumbling sound, but he could not see where it was. He decided to eat one of the chips. He picked one up. He bit into it.
Ah,
He said after his first chip.
Would you like another chip?
Asked Lisa, startling Bart.
yes please.
Said Bart. Lisa went into the bag and got another chip for Bart. He ate that one too.
How many chips do you have in this bag?
A dozen.
Said Lisa.
Do you have the bag?
Asked Bart, curious. Lisa smiled.
I do.
Bart looked around the Nightmare Realm. The place seemed ancient, unlike the other realms he had visited. The furniture was all hard and ancient, the sleeping bags ancient, and the air smelled old, like the home of a grumpy wizard. The home across from him was ancient too, and seemed to have been abandoned for a long time. The home across the street was bright and appeared to be occupied by old people. Bart looked at the bag of chips. The chips were the only thing in the realm that made any noise.
How much longer are we going to sit here?
Asked Bart.
We should get moving.
Shaggy said.
Till we get to the Lost Realm, Bartimaeus will remain a go, unable to enjoy life.
Bart looked over at the sleeping bag with the snoring Lisa.
She's snoring.
Said Bart, pointing to the bag.
I'll wake her.
And with that, Shaggy jumped out of the bag and Bart jumped in after him. The two of them ran off towards the castle where the Nightmare King used to live. They ran for a long time, until finally they came to it. The castle was dark, but no light shone from it.
Is that it?
Asked Bart, disappointed.
No,
Is there another way in?
there is another way in, but it is dark and dangerous.
Then how do we get in?
If I touch this ring, a light will appear.
Said Shaggy. Bart touched the ring. A small light appeared on his finger.
Stay back.
Said Shaggy, putting Bart and Ghoul Boy in front of him.
Don't be scared, Bartimaeus.
Said Lisa, putting her hand on the ghoul's shoulder. The light sparkled, and it was the most beautiful sight he'd ever seen. He felt himself drawing closer to the Ghoul Boy, who had once been his body, and before he knew it, they had become one once again.
Hurry!
Lisa cried.
Bart's back.
But it won't hold.
Shaggy said, shaking his head.
We must get him to the Lost Realm before sunrise.
Lisa had already taken Bart by the arm, dragging him along. She dragged him down the pathway towards the castle.
Can we not just sneak in?
Bart asked.
There is a way, but it is dangerous. I will lead you, and you must follow.
I don't like this.
Said Lisa.
There's something about that place.
I will be fine.
Said Bart, looking worried.
Let's go.
Said Lisa. They came to a large door in the castle. Lisa put her finger to her lips and they went inside. The room was black.
Here.
Said Shaggy.
This is as far as I can take you.
Lisa pulled Bart aside and whispered into his ear.
If anything goes wrong, I'll meet you back here.
What are you going to do?
Bart asked.
I'm going to try to get you to the Lost Realm.
Said Lisa.
I have to go alone. I'll be back before sunrise.
Lisa let Bart go and he stood there in the shadows looking sad while she left.
She'll be back.
Said Bart.
She always comes back.
Yeah.
Said Shaggy.
It's just that her brother and I are sort of stuck here forever.
The two boys chuckled together as Lisa entered the sacred room. The path to the Lost Realm led through a long corridor. Along the corridor were 2 rows of cells. In each cell were imprisoned the Lost. The Lost were people who had once been human, but who had allowed themselves to be taken into the Nightmare Realm, where they existed as thralls, slaves to the Nightmare King. There were many different kinds of Lost, some friendly and some hostile. Lisa felt some pity for them, as Bart would join their ranks if she failed her mission. However, they were too dangerous to let loose into the world now. A Lost known as Catra was being held in the first cell on the left. She was a cat-like girl with large spiky hair that framed her face like a mane.
Wake up, you slug!
Said Lisa.
You'll be leaving here soon.
What's your name?
Said Catra.
I'm Lisa.
Said Lisa.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Catra sneered.
Only the lost belong in this prison.
I need you to help me take my brother to the Lost Realm.
Lisa said, her eyes pleading. She held out a golden egg as an offering.
The witch told me I could trust you.
Of course I'll help you.
Said Catra.
I'll help you tear this place down and get you the finest breakfast this side of breakfast.
Thanks.
Said Lisa.
What's going to happen to you?
Said Catra.
I'm going to try to get my brother back to normal.
Said Lisa.
So he can become the next king of the Silver River.
Lisa returned to where Bart and Shaggy were waiting for her with Catra in tow. She explained to them how Catra knew the way to the Lost Realm.
We've got to get to the Lost Realm quickly so that Bart can get back to his normal self before the sun rises.
Lisa declared.
It will be dark when we get there, so we will have to find a way through the lost gates.
Shaggy suggested.
No, we shouldn't go that way.
Catra said.
What's wrong?
Lisa asked.
It's the way the Nightmare King wants us to go. He's waiting for us there. Disappointed.
Catra explained.
Isn't he dead?
His vessel might be, as this is still flows strong.
Catra said.
Here in the Nightmare Realm, it's as strong as ever.
What other way is there?
Lisa asked.
There's an altar not far from here. It might still work. We don't have time to worry about it.
Okay, let's go.
Lisa said. They began to head towards the Lost Realm. They walked through the dead forest, their boots trudging through the snow. Suddenly, Bart jumped a little higher than usual, his ears perking up. He looked around, nose scented the air.
I smell smoke.
He said.
It's probably nothing.
Shaggy said.
You've been smelling dead things all day.
It's this ghoulish nose of mine.
Bart lamented.
It seeks out the dead, but this is man-made smoke.
Lisa sniffed the air, smelling nothing.
It's smoke. Let's go.
They broke into a run, hurrying through the forest as fast as they could. Finally, they came to a burnt-out cottage. The thatched roof was smoldering, the blackened walls revealing a row of cages with bars bent and broken. The remains of a ghoul woman hung from the ceiling, a bag of organs and a jar of pickled eyeballs beside her. Bart stopped short and covered his nose in disgust.
What is it?
Lisa asked. Bart pointed to the cages.
We need to free them.
He said. Lisa nodded, stroking her chin thoughtfully.
If we free them, then we have to keep them.
That's a hard choice.
Bart said softly. Lisa looked at the cages once more, then walked over to the ghoul woman. She touched the woman's long white hair, then smelled it.
She's alive.
She said.
Then we have to save her.
Bart said. Lisa nodded.
I was thinking the same thing.
Should we do it now, while there's still time, or wait until night?
We don't have time to waste.
Catra said.
We need to get to the Lost Realm quickly.
Yeah!
Lisa nodded.
Let's free these poor souls.
Lisa took a deep breath, then opened the first cage with the bag of organs inside. Bart screamed. The woman inside screamed too. Lisa held her hand over her mouth, trying not to be sick. She put her hand on the woman's shoulder, speaking softly.
It's alright. It'll be alright. In a moment, you'll be free.
The woman wrapped her arms around Lisa, hugging her. Lisa patted the woman's back, then whispered to her.
You're a survivor. Keep your strength up.
At last, Lisa opened the last cage door, freeing the ghoul from her iron cage. The ghoul held her hands out, staring at them. Her organs returned to her, and she breathed as if she were alive.
Thank you.
The woman said, staring at Lisa. Lisa nodded.
It's alright. Let's get you out of here.
Lisa stepped around to the other side of the cage, and reached to unbuckle the iron clips that held the bars in place.
I can help with that.
Bart said. Lisa looked up, surprised.
It would be a honor to have your help.
They freed the woman and brought her outside.
We've wasted too much time.
Catra said.
Is this old woman coming with us?
Of course not.
Lisa shook her head.
I'm afraid she's still too weakened from her time in the Nightmare Realm. In fact, I'm not sure she'll even be able to walk.
I'm fine.
The woman said.
Just give me a minute.
Lisa and Bart brought the woman to the edge of the water.
Can you walk across?
Lisa asked.
I think so.
The woman said. Lisa took the woman by the arm and began walking across the bridge, holding hands. The woman walked across the bridge, staring ahead.
What is your name?
Lisa asked.
And where do you live?
My name is Ida.
The woman replied.
I live in the Lost Realm.
The Lost Realm.
I was the assistant of the King of the Silver River.
She said.
But when I opposed the Nightmare King, he removed my innards and trapped me in this place.
That's awful.
Bart said.
We're going to the Lost Realm.
Lisa said, thoughtfully stroking her chin.
Perhaps you could come with us.
You already have a guide.
Catra pointed out.
This hag will just slow us down.
She's not a hag.
Bart said, defensively.
She's a water walker.
That's just a fancy name for Gaul.
Catra said.
Not necessarily.
They saw a tower on the horizon. Catra pointed to it.
There's the tower.
She said. They began to run towards it.
Wait,
Edith said.
I must ask. We're going there.
To cure Bart.
Lisa explained.
He was turned to a gull by the Nightmare King.
If you go to the tower, you may be trapped like me.
Ida pointed out.
Is it worth the risk?
Perhaps.
They continued running. They ran up the hill towards the tower.
This is it.
Bart said.
Are you sure?
Lisa asked, looking at the tower. The tower was a silver color and sat on a hill.
This is it.
Bart asked, confused.
Yes.
What is it?
It's a tower.
I know that much.
Bart said, irritated.
But what is it?
Catra sighed and looked at the tower.
It's a magical tower, Bartimaeus.
She said.
You need to concentrate.
Fine.
Bart said.
I remember this tower.
Ida said, placing a hand on the smooth silver stone.
Concentrate, and it can take you to the Lost Realm.
I don't need to go there.
Bart said.
You do.
Lisa said.
If you don't go, you will die.
You're just trying to get rid of me.
No, I'm trying to save you.
I don't want to be saved by the likes of you.
The ghoulishness is poisoning his mind.
Shaggy said. Bart glared at him.
Do you see any other ghosts?
Ida asked, hoping to change the subject. Bart shook his head.
There's no one here.
Yes, there is.
Shaggy said.
We are here.
Bart turned to stare at Shaggy.
Are we?
Bart asked, a sneer forming on his face.
Yes.
Shaggy said.
Those aren't real.
That's what you think.
Shaggy said.
Come on.
They went inside the tower, where a ring of magic light shone from the floor.
This is the Ring of Solomon.
Ida said.
He used to keep it on his finger, but it can take you to him.
They stood in the ring, everyone holding hands except for Bart.
What do we do?
Lisa asked.
I don't know.
Ida said.
This ring is part of Solomon's magic. It will transport us where we need to go. Yes.
Catra explained.
I don't see anything.
Bart said.
Head up and make the wish.
Shaggy said.
I wish we were at the bottom of the ocean.
Bart said. The tower began to fill with water. Lisa yelped as fish swam around them, the water going up past their ankles. They remained at the bottom of the ocean for several minutes before the water level went down, revealing the tower's roof.
There we go.
Lisa said. Bart huffed as the tower trembled. The night sky shifted as they slipped between cracks in reality. They walked over a long, bumpy dirt path. Lisa held her arms out to balance.
Watch your step.
Ida said.
Is this really the Lost Realm?
Lisa asked.
It's been so long, I can hardly remember.
Ida said. They walked for a long time before the path ended. They reached a wall where large, heavy gates were set in the wall. The gates were closed.
We're trapped.
Bart said.
Not necessarily.
Lisa said. She went over to the gates and began to talk to the person on the other side of the gate.
Hello, my name is Lisa. We are here to see the King of the Silver River.
Hello, my name is Marzipan. It's nice to meet you.
Is Solomon here?
Lisa asked.
The king doesn't go by that name anymore.
Marzipan said.
He doesn't.
Lisa asked.
No. In fact, the whole realm of Solomon has been destroyed.
Destroyed.
Lisa asked, taken aback.
That's why it's lost.
Catra explained.
The Nightmare King was the only one who could end the king's rule, which was destroying the realm of the lost.
What does that mean?
Marzipan asked.
It means I have no idea.
Lisa said.
What do we do now?
Bart asked.
Now.
Lisa said.
Now we kick us.
I mean, after we kick us.
Bart said.
We can't just leave you here to die.
Ida said.
I'll be fine.
Bart said.
No.
Lisa said.
You are not going to die. We are not leaving you here to die.
Why not?
Bart asked.
Because that's just.
Lisa began to say before another voice cut in.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Lisa said.
Are you the one who's looking for the King of the Silver River?
Yes.
Lisa said.
Oh, cool. He's very lonely. You should come and see him.
Lisa and the ghouls looked at each other in confusion.
Who are you?
Ida asked.
I am the King of the Silver River.
There is no King of the Silver River.
Lisa said.
I used to be.
The voice said. Lisa turned around to see a man standing behind her. He was soft and fluffy, like a cloud. He was wearing a long red robe. He looked at the ghouls.
I see two of the fullest creatures in my realm.
He said.
And you dare to call yourself king?
We were just leaving.
Lisa said.
If you want to come with me, I can provide you with a nice home, and food, and lovely clothes. I can even arrange for you to have a pretty wife.
What's your name?
Ida asked the man.
I lost mine. What's your name?
He asked Lisa.
I'm Lisa.
She said.
Are you really the King of the Silver River?
Do you wish to come with me?
Yes.
Lisa said.
Very well.
The man said.
Follow me.
Where are we going?
Bart asked.
Wherever you wish, follow me and do not attempt to make conversation. For each one of you, I will provide a handsome suit of clothes. Even you, Bartimaeus, shall look presentable.
The Silver River King led them into a large room filled with shelves and clothing. He began pulling books off the shelves and spreading the clothing out on the tables.
Here,
He said, handing Lisa a suit of nice, fine clothing. It was all silver and gold, with a purple velvet lining. The man looked at the clothing.
you may find these a bit tight,
He said.
but that will soon pass.
Bart put the clothing on and tried looking in the mirror.
I see you like to flaunt your body.
The man said.
I have a complete set of plate armor in the next room. If you wish, you may put that on as well.
Oh, I don't think there's any need for that.
Lisa said.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
He said.
Now please examine yourself and see if the clothing fits.
Lisa walked into the next room. She paused to look at the suits of armor. They were laid out on tables covered with a purple cloth. All of them were golden and silver with purple velvet linings. They each had a different emblem on the breastplate. Lisa picked up one suit and examined it.
That's the adjunct suit of armor.
The Silver River King said.
And that's Solomon's?
Bart said.
And this is David's.
Ida said.
You knew David.
The king asked.
And Solomon.
Ida answered.
But I guess you are the king now.
Not for much longer.
The man said.
But come, let me show you something.
The king led them to a table in the corner of the room. On it were several items. Lisa saw a dagger and a book. The man took the dagger and turned it in his hands.
Do you like it?
He asked, showing Lisa the hilt.
It's a dagger.
Yes, but do you like it?
Lisa frowned.
I don't know anything about knives.
She said.
That's the point.
The man said.
If you can find out how to use it, it's magical.
I cannot.
Lisa said.
Please.
No.
Nonsense. Nobody can resist the power of a dagger.
The man opened the book and read from it.
The dagger must be used for good, not evil.
That's not very helpful.
Lisa said.
Can you just give it to me so I can use it for good, too?
No,
The man said.
Why not?
because that would take the power of the dagger from the book and give it to you. And I cannot give that to you.
Lisa opened her mouth to complain, but the man held up a hand to silence her.
The dagger will only work for good with the power of good in mind.
He said.
Any other use, and it will be taken and the power removed from the dagger and given to another. That will be evil.
Oh.
Lisa said.
Allow me to demonstrate.
He continued. Clutching the dagger, he turned, driving it into the heart of Bart.
Bart?
Lisa cried as her brother was stabbed by the magic dagger. The dagger was removed, and the body of Bart fell to the ground, dead.
What happened?
Ida asked.
He stabbed my brother.
Lisa answered, sobbing.
I could not resist the power of the dagger.
The king of the Silver River said.
It doesn't look like you could.
Lisa said. The king of the Silver River laughed.
Just watch.
He said, gesturing to Bart's body.
It will happen again. After I take the dagger, Bart will rise.
Lisa raised an eyebrow.
Are you sure he's dead?
I am not sure of anything.
The man turned the pages of the book.
There is one thing that I am sure of. Though,
He said.
the dagger will only be effective if the mind of these is poor.
What do you mean?
Lisa asked. The man flipped through the pages a bit.
The Nightmare King's mind is corrupted. He's not been in complete control of his nightmare realm for very long. It's a young and tested mind. It's easily corrupted.
That's not good.
Lisa said.
No, it's not.
The man agreed.
But if you wish, you can help drive the Nightmare King insane. You can use the dagger to try to kill him. Then the dagger will become corrupt and will not work.
Lisa thought about what the man said.
No, I can't do that.
Lisa said.
I need to get the dagger from my brother. That's my only purpose.
I understand.
The sun began to rise, and the light shone through the window.
We should get moving.
The man said.
Should we?
Lisa asked.
Yes,
The man said.
we should go back to the Nightmare Realm and kill the Nightmare King.
Lisa remembered the warnings of the witch she'd met in the woods. If the king of the Silver River entered the Nightmare Realm, it would be disastrous. The light of the sunrise hit Bart's body, and he began to stir.
Come on.
Lisa cried, pulling on her brother's hand. Her brother opened his eyes, and Lisa's face lit up.
Bart?
She cried. Bart smiled at his sister before standing up.
Are you okay? Did something happen?
He asked. Lisa shook her head.
No, I'm fine. Did something happen to you?
Yeah, but that's not important.
Bart reached out and pulled Lisa into a hug.
I miss you, little sister.
He said. Lisa wrapped her arms around her brother, and the two of them embraced. They remained in that position for a moment, and then Bart stepped back.
We should go.
He said. The siblings walked out of the room and down the stairs.
Where are you two going?
Catra asked as they passed her in the hall.
We're going to go kill the Nightmare King.
Bart said.
What about my purpose?
Lisa asked.
Get another purpose.
Bart said, smiling at his sister. Catra sighed and ran her fingers through her hair.
I guess I can do that.
She said. It was a long, difficult walk to the throne room of the Nightmare King. On the walk, Bart told Lisa to close her eyes and imagine herself in a beautiful place. Lisa shut her eyes and imagined herself in a beautiful place. The siblings entered the hall of the Nightmare King and stopped dead.
Hello, Bartimaeus.
Bart said, stepping back. The king's laughter trickled like ice water on a bruise.
I can't help but notice you're still holding the key to the Lost Realm.
I still have it.
Bart asked, surprised.
Of course you still have it. You still have everything. You still have everything because you still have it. Nothing can take that away from you.
What do you want?
I want the same thing I've always wanted. Your power, Bartimaeus. I want to become the Nightmare King.
I can't give it to you.
You cannot, can. What or what? Which is it, Bartimaeus?
I will not give it to you.
The king's eyes widened in rage. The king laughed, and the siblings recoiled in pain. They stood there, glaring at each other. Lisa stepped between them and said softly.
Bart?
Bart stepped back, sighing.
Look, I'm sorry I won't give it to you. I'm not going to give you my power. I will not give you that. I cannot. I will not do it. I cannot. This is her power, Lisa.
The Nightmare King laughed.
I can allow you to escape.
The Nightmare King said.
But I can give you another option. An option more suited to your powers.
No, Bart.
Lisa said. He took a deep breath before turning to the Nightmare King.
What do you have in mind?
He asked.
Have you ever considered a partnership? Bartimaeus, you win with me together. We can achieve more than either one of us can achieve alone. We can rule the world, and we can be king and queen of the Nightmare Realm. We can be its Nightmare Kings.
I have to say that I think you're making a mistake.
Bart replied.
You were already chased off the mortal coil. That's why you're here.
Yes, Bartimaeus, but I have a better understanding of the world now. I've studied all the times in the Nightmare Realm. I've learned the dark arts. I can make you my ghostly slave. And I'm dead for my fortress. I've decided which I would prefer.
I don't want any part of your dark empire.
Bart said.
No, Bart, you misunderstand. You see the skulls on the walls.
Bart took a look around.
Yes.
Those are my, and I've killed these men and I have taken their skulls. They are all that remain of my first failed attempt at global domination. Now I will not fail again. When I was in my study pursuing the tongues, I came across the secrets of the Nightmare Turret's power. I will transfer my own power to you, Bartimaeus. You'll be my slave once more, Bartimaeus. I will give you control over the undead. Your enemies will not be able to stop you.
The only enemy I've left is you.
Bart replied. He took the Ring of Solomon from his pocket and placed it on his middle finger.
But this is a pointless endeavor because I am not joining you.
The Nightmare King laughed.
I will not abide a traitor to my dark empire.
And I am no traitor.
Bart said.
You're not. You be the Ring of Solomon.
I did do that.
Bart said.
But I am done being your slave now. I will have my ring and will have my freedom or death. Make your choice, Nightmare King.
The Nightmare King was silent for a long moment before he let out a bellow of fury.
Bartimaeus.
He snarled.
Full 2002 deadline, Jerusalem, and 2007, the Panama.
He roared.
I'll give you a second chance. 2008, the Temple of the Sun, deadline, and 2000, deadline, and 2010, dead, 2011, the Panama, and 2012, deadline, dead, and 2014, dead.
That's enough.
Lisa said.
You are doing or not, Bartimaeus?
The Nightmare King shouted. Lisa stepped forward and placed a hand on Bart's shoulder. She looked at the Nightmare King and spoke in a sweet voice.
Bart, I have freed you from your dark binding. Do not make this mistake. You must not join the Nightmare King.
I will do as I please,
Bart said, pulling off his ring.
You have my gratitude, but I will not be bound by your will or anyone else's.
The Nightmare King was now furious.
You do not have the right. I'm King of Nightmares. I will have my due.
Bart threw the ring at the Nightmare King. The Nightmare King's eyes bulged as he saw the ring fly towards him. It glowed and sucked him into itself. In a flash of light, the Nightmare King was gone. And Bart was standing amidst the ruins of the throne room. He held a black sword in one hand and a golden shield in the other. A voice spoke from the shadows. It said,
Good show, Bartimaeus. I knew you had it in you.
The King of the Silver River stepped out from the shadows.
Are you really the King of the Silver River?
Bart asked.
Not anymore.
The man said.
I passed that title on to you, my boy.
Bart smiled and took the black sword.
I am forever in your debt.
Bart said.
I would do anything for you.
That brings a tear to my eye.
The king said.
You're a real friend, but you know, you're holding up a bit of paper that says otherwise.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
The man said.
I understand, and in your place, I will do the same thing. Now come home, I will walk with you.
I'm sorry.
Bart said again.
But I have to do this.
Bart drew his sword and cut the black rope that bound the Silver River King.
What a wonderful ride,
the Silver River King said. He walked over to the cage and looked at the ghouls.
I never thought I would see your false selves in this realm of shadows, Bartimaeus. But you have changed things. I will free you and your companions from this pit.
There were more of us.
Bart asked.
There are many others.
The Silver River King said.
We are the lost. We fell victim to the Nightmare Tyrant's power.
Is there any hope?
Bart asked.
We've had a bit of luck. But menace.
The king said.
I will call upon the River of Life to free us. I will need your help.
I'm all yours.